Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Temple Athletics. I'm your host, Christian Reilly, and we are here to give you an inside look at Temple's Division I athletics programs. Joining us in the studio today is men's and women's tennis head coach Steve Morrow. Coach, welcome back to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me and my players.
You're welcome. So let's start talking about the fall season that just came to an end. Give me your evaluation of both the men and the women's team this fall.
Well, this was an exciting fall on both. On the men's side, we had a lot of new players, so we kind of see what they bring to the table. And on the women's side, we had such a successful season that we were just hoping that we can continue to carry on what we did last spring into the fall. And the girls came back in shape and ready to play. Unfortunately, we do have a couple of injuries on the women's side. A couple of girls also were sick, so they didn't play as much as I would have liked them during the fall, but it's a great group. It's probably one of the most talented teams that we've had here at Temple, so we're really excited.
So were there any player or players specifically that stood out from both the men and the women's side?
Everyone played well. On the men's side, the two freshmen, one from Belarus and the other one from Ukraine. They were both, did a great job. And on the women's side, everyone played well. We had, girls that had really made big strides from last year. Actually, the two players that you're going to meet today were Monet Willis, who was unfortunately was a little bit not sick, but injured. She wasn't able to participate in the fall, but we expect big things from her. And Mariana Badon, who is probably one of our most improved players, so we're really excited to see her play in the spring.
Now, talk about Monet. She came off an outstanding freshman season. What do you expect from her in her sophomore season, especially heading into the spring?
We're first a little concerned about her injury. We're hoping that everything is fine, but she's very talented. She's a hard worker. She loves the game of tennis, and she can be as good as she wants to be. She could be one of the top players in the country. It's just a matter of her putting it all together and working hard and continuing to do the right things.
Now, Mariana's a junior. You talked about how she's one of the most improved players on the team. What have you seen from her development after her freshman and sophomore year heading into her junior season now?
Honestly, I was a little bit worried about her when she first came, but no, I'm only kidding. She's a great girl, and she's been working hard, and she's actually one of our top players right now, and I hope she continues to work hard, and I think she's going to do great things for Temple Tennis.
Now, when I was looking at the schedule, I noticed that both the men and the women's teams have games, similar schedules, but they have matches on some that are on the same day. So what is the challenge for you from a mental standpoint to get both of your teams ready to play, even if you have matches on the same day?
I just kind of go about it the same way each time. We try to get the girls ready or the guys ready for whoever they're playing. We take every match seriously because you never know, about an opponent. And we have a really good group of both guys and girls that are really excited and want to win and want to do well. So it's kind of easy getting them ready for matches, and I think they're up for the challenge this year.
So since you've been doing this for about 7 years, I'm assuming that you're used to managing both programs and the schedules that are on similar days.
Yeah, sometimes it gets a little bit crazy, but it actually makes for a better chemistry here because the guys are supporting the girls and vice versa. So it's actually, I think it's good for the program that both teams support one another, and they support one another on and off the court. Even academically, they help one another. So it's really great to see, and it's more of a family. So I'm happy to coach both teams.
So going off of that, what is the atmosphere like in practice and on game days for both programs?
In practice, we try to tell them the importance of working hard. You can't just go do a light hit in practice and expect to do well in a match. So we try to push them as much as we can. We have good coaching staff. Coach Gersang, the assistant coach, does a great job, as well as our graduate assistant Monica Gormy, who played at Duke. She brings a lot of knowledge to the table. So we're lucky to have a good coaching staff, and really pushes the guys and girls. And as far as match play is concerned, I think everyone is excited when we play another school. So it's it's a good team atmosphere.
So now that you have some time off, well, if you want to call it time off, not starting until the City 6 invite in January with the spring season. So what are your teams doing from now until January to get ready for the spring?
Well, I know a lot of the guys and girls are hitting on their own. In addition to that, they do strength and conditioning, and we do 2 hours of tennis instruction. So that's pretty much what they do. I'm busy as far as all the other things with scheduling. I schedule now for 2017, and I'm still doing a lot of recruiting right now. So right now I'm as busy as ever.
I was just going to ask, is this a big recruiting period for you with a couple of months off on the court?
Yeah, right now we've been in contact with a lot of really good players. Temple is is a great school, and it's just getting better and better. And we're able to bring in now a real high quality student athlete. So we have some, we're hoping to bring in some really good people this year. In addition, we may be bringing in someone on the men's side in January, a player from Germany, and possibly another girl from Uzbekistan in January as well.
So speaking of that, you recruit a lot of players that are from overseas, both men and the women's side. So what is that recruiting process like, and is it a challenge to get in contact with them that are from obviously overseas?
The biggest problem is I can look up their tennis results, so I can kind of really see how good a tennis player. I just don't know about their personality. We really look for nice kids here at Temple. Something that we stress is manners and being a good person. So that's the tough piece of the puzzle, to find out what kind of person that I bring in. But we try to do as much research as we can. We have connections all throughout the world, and a friend of a friend usually will know that person. So that's how we kind of find out about them.
Are any of the players on both the men and the women's side, have they had any familiarity with some of the people that you're recruiting?
Yeah, they have. They actually played against them in junior, so we kind of get a feel, and I'll ask, hey, what kind of a person? How did he conduct himself on and off the court? So, because those are important, qualities for us.
All right, so now, besides maintaining good grades for your student athletes, are they responsible for any off-the-court activities, especially with this time off, such as, maybe community service?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of community service. As a matter of fact, the girls and myself and the other coaching staff on Saturday will be feeding the homeless. It's in Philadelphia. It's down the block on Broad Street. So we'll be doing that on Saturday evening. So that's one of the many community service projects that we do. The guys just did it a couple weeks ago, so we're constantly involved in stuff like that.
That's great. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here with more on the women's tennis team. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Temple Athletics Show with more on the women's tennis team. So, Coach, now as a Division I athletics coach at a major university, we were just talking about how your players are responsible for community service and other events that they may have to appear at. So I'm assuming that you have to make a few public appearances from time to time. Could you talk about some of those appearances that you do have to make?
I mean, I don't have to. I just did something at the football game the other day, at WIP, and anytime I can promote our program, because we do have such good kids that play for us, and Temple is a great school, and I love being here, and anytime I can promote Temple, it's a pleasure for me to do.
Now, right before we went to commercial break, you were talking about those community service events from your student athletes. Could you just talk more about some of the things that they do specifically, maybe in the community or in the city here of Philadelphia?
We've done a number of things throughout the years. We were heavily involved with an autistic program at UPenn. The kids would come over and play tennis with us, and also we did community service at CHOP. We've also, with some local kids, we taught them tennis. So there's a number of things. Another program called Squash Smarts, inner city kids. So not that we knew how to play squash very well, but we went over there and kind of communicated with the kids and told them a little bit about, playing college tennis and what it's like to be in college. So it's anytime that we can give back, we try to do. We're all very fortunate to be here, to be healthy, and so it's our pleasure to give back. It's not something that people complain about, and I think that anytime someone can give back, it makes you feel good as well.
And your players probably learn equally as much from, let's say the autistic kids that they were, working with in the community, as much as, those kids learn from your players.
Yeah, it's great that they have the opportunity to do that. I feel, to be able to give back, it's a very fortunate thing. So. I'm very happy with the efforts that we do as far as our community service.
Okay, so we'll stick with the women's side of things in terms of on-the-court success. So what's the difference about coaching women than it is versus men, in your opinion?
Honestly, there's not a lot of difference. The only difference that I really see is technically is the men tend to get more free points because they hit the ball a little bit harder, so the rallies are a little bit shorter. On women's tennis, the rallies are a little bit longer because they don't hit as many winners. Also, men get a lot of free points when they serve because they have these real, 125-mile-an-hour serves. So they get free points where the girls have to kind of grind a little bit more on the court. But other than that, tennis is tennis, and there's not that big a deal because my girls my girls can compete with a lot of my guys because they're all very good players.
So what would you say is the average mile per hour serve for the women's?
I think some of them may be able to get up to 100. I think.
Really?
Yeah. So some of them can serve pretty hard, and but actually some of them hit very. Monet, as a matter of fact, she hits a forehand pretty hard, and so does some of our other players as well. So you'd be surprised how the level of what they play.
So under your tutelage, your women's players have earned all Atlantic 10 accolades in 13 different times, which is remarkable. Last season, you had 2 players that were on the all-league teams, both of which graduated. So when you look at this current team that you have now, do you see, based off of the fall performance, do you see any of your players achieving similar accolades?
Yeah, right now we have a player who played #1 for us, Alina. She's from Uzbekistan. She was actually first team all-conference, and she's a tremendous player, works hard on and off the court. But, the other girls on our team are as capable as her, and, I think if everyone just works hard and does the right things, we can all achieve success like her.
So what are your expectations for your women's team heading into the spring? And does your team have any, expectations themselves?
I think, we want to be ranked. We want to be a top team. Our conference is very, very strong, both on the men and the women. But I think there's no one out there that we can't beat. So when we play against some of these top teams like a Tulsa or a Memphis or, I don't think we're intimidated. And I think that we have, a good group this year that we can, knock off some of these, highly ranked teams.
Are there any nationally ranked teams in the conference?
Yeah,
there are quite a few.
Yeah, in the men's, there's actually, on the men's side, I think there's 5 or 6 that are nationally ranked, and on the women's, there's at least 3 or 4. So I think we can be there. Like I said, it's just a matter of the work ethic and the girls really wanting it. And like I said, we do have a good group, and hopefully everyone will want to get ranked.
Right. So what would you consider to be a successful spring by the time the season is over for the women's side?
Well, we set the bar high last year because we did set the record for most wins in Temple's history last year on the women's side. So if we can come close to that, that would be great. But, the conference tournament is going to be big, and, like I said, the competition is very strong. So I'm hoping to win it all, and hopefully the girls feel the same way.
Well, Coach, it was great to have you on. Thank you very much for your time, and best of luck in the spring season to both your men and women's teams.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on the Temple Athletics Show with more on the women's tennis team. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Temple Athletics program. Joining us right now in the studio is our student athletes Mariana Bedlone and Monet Stuckey-Willis. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So first, talk about how your semester's going so far for both of you. Now you're a junior and you're a sophomore, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, we play a few tournaments in this fall, and it was actually really good. We played really good schools, really good girls. We're having fun in the court. Although Monet can't play, but she comes to practice, and it's really good having her.
It's going pretty well. I mean, as far as academics, it's easier, I guess, being able to apply myself, being as though I'm not a full-time tennis player right now since I'm injured. But hopefully I'll get better.
So I hate to bring this up, but talk about your injury and how much longer do you expect to be out?
Hopefully not that long. I hope to at least start practicing in January. But the doctor, they're like basically giving me the runaround. I'm getting tests like every other week, so I'm not really sure. And I have to be cleared for physical therapy first before I can even start practicing. So
now, what is it specifically that you did injure?
my back. It's
Okay.
a stress fracture reaction.
Okay, well, hopefully you get a speedy recovery. You can get back before the start of the spring season. So let me ask both of you this. When did you both feel like you were good enough to play tennis in college, let alone here at Temple at a major Division I program?
I think once you started taking it like very as a hobby and you don't really take it seriously, but when I was around like 14 and I was like one in my country, I was like, I can do this. So that's kind of the moment when I decided.
And how about you?
I think once I actually decided to do homeschool instead of going to high school, that's when I knew like I was taking it more serious and I was like able to play Division I and also like professional. So
Now, Mariana, you're from Peru, and Monet, you're from right down the street here in Philadelphia. So when did you both of you first come in contact with Coach Morrow in the recruiting process?
I talked to Coach kind of at the end of my senior year. I decided that year actually that I wanted to come to Temple. There was a lot of schools going on, but I really liked Temple overall, and Coach was really nice. So it was around like October.
Now, did you visit the school at all before? You just do your research and?
Yeah, I do my research and stuff, but I couldn't because I wanted to come in the spring, so it was really close to timing, and I couldn't come visit.
Now, since you're from the hometown here, did you know all along that you were going to come to Temple, or was it, a factor of wanting to get out and maybe experience some other schools from other different areas?
I never really had like the urge to go to a different school or like a different state for school. So Temple is actually like perfect. It's not too far from home.
So for you just finished up your fall season. So tell me what your evaluation would be from your team's, your individual grade performance and your team overall.
I'm really happy with my individual performance. I think I've improved a lot since the beginning. It's thanks to Coach and the girls with their support. Overall, I think we're getting along much better. I think the spring is going to be really a good season, and I'm looking forward to it.
Now, both mentally and physically, is it nice to have some time off before a hectic spring schedule that comes right after the break?
It is at first. I don't know if it's me, but I like to play. Like, I could spend a weekend off and be like, oh, I just want to play. Not really practice intense, like 3 hours and stuff, just play because I'm used to it. But it is good to have some time off.
Do you enjoy the time off as well?
No.
No, you just want to get right back out and play?
Yeah, I try to play as much as possible. So any time off is really not too enjoyed.
So it definitely throws off your rhythm, you think, if
Yeah,
having all that
definitely.
time off. So what's your practice workout schedule like, during the season and maybe with this time off, if you consider it off season, so to speak?
Yeah, so we have like a 15-day break. And what at least what I'm going to do is practice at home for like morning and do some conditioning in the afternoon. Here we do an hour of conditioning and 2 hours and a half of tennis. So it is kind of what is going to work now in the spring.
What's the conditioning like for tennis?
It is very short sprints. Before we did like long runs, now it's more like short wise because since we just have the court and we have to just be fast in the court. So
Right, and it's a lot of side-to-side movement as
Yeah.
well. So now another question for both of you. What is it like? Tell me what it's like to play for Coach Morrow. If you can sum it up in one phrase or one word.
Coach is really funny. He's actually he's good. He understands. He comes up and he always supports you in the tough moments. So I think that's really important during matches and practices.
I think it's fun. Like you hear about other people college experience and they're like they didn't really have a relationship with their coach or like they didn't have a relationship with the team, but with us it's a complete opposite. Like we have basically like a family within the team, so it's nice.
Right, and Coach was saying to me earlier that the family of the team is what's really special about both programs. So how special does it make you feel that you can support not only your team but the men's as well, and talk about what the atmosphere is like every day at practice and then on game day as well.
It's really cool. I enjoy it a lot. I feel every game, we even had a match against ECU and we were visiting them and the girls were so loud. The guys would come and cheer up and be even louder. It's really cool. We get to, even when some girls can't play, you can hit with them when we're off, so I really enjoy it.
So out of all the road games in your schedule this spring, is there one place in particular that stands out that you're looking forward to going the most?
I want to go to Cincinnati so
Same.
bad because I want to beat them. I really want to. I want to beat them home.
Yeah.
Now, Cincinnati, are they nationally ranked, or are they just one of the better teams in the conference?
They're like one of the better
Yeah.
teams.
One of the better teams.
Yeah.
So you're
It's
not
almost like
excited
a
about
rival.
You're not excited about going to Texas at all, or?
We went to Texas. She wasn't
I
here.
didn't go though.
We went to Texas, and Coach was so excited because we got this Mercedes-Benz van. So it's a good memory.
Now, Monet, you're coming off a successful freshman season with an overall record of 19-7. So what did you learn from last season, and what strides are you trying to make into your sophomore year now? Now, I know the injury obviously doesn't help, but what strides are you trying to take your game to another level this season?
Just having a better mindset. Like going into the freshman year, I was actually like kind of nervous. I didn't know what to expect. But now, since I know what to expect, it's like I feel as though I can have a better season and have more success. So.
Now, Mariana, you're a junior now. So what have you learned from the first 2 years of being here at Temple, and obviously being here in the United States?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. At first, I was scared too. I was like the youngest in the team. I'm still the youngest in the team, although I'm a junior. But I really learned a lot, and I think I got more confident throughout the years. So I'm really looking forward to my junior performance.
How have you enjoyed over here in the United States so far?
I like it. I like it a lot. I feel I have more freedom here. Like
She
I
doesn't
can
want to go
decide.
home.
Is there
Yeah.
any one experience that sticks out, not college related, just maybe the city of Philadelphia?
Yeah, well, one of the girls, my best friend actually was in the team. She graduated, and I always go visit her. We go around. We run sometimes to the art museum. So that's kind of the things that I like to do.
Now, what's your favorite hot spot in the city since you've been here pretty much all your life?
I don't really have one. I'm like a grandma. Like I stay in the house all the time. And if I'm not in the house, I'm playing tennis.
So what's one hobby that you like to do outside of tennis? Would you like to tell me that, or
Besides shop, nothing.
shop?
Tennis is my only hobby.
Go-to shopping place anywhere in the city?
Basically outside of city, like King of Prussia or Cherry Hill, which is in Jersey. So
Right. All right, well, ladies, thank you very much for your time.
you.
Best of luck to you in the season. Best of luck recovering from
Thank
your
you.
injury. Wish you a speedy recovery.
thank you.
Thank you.
That will do it for this edition of the Temple Athletics Show. I'm your host, Christian Reilly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.